There are many mistakes that you could make while exploring the backrooms. You could go to level run for your life. You could go to level 666, you could get eaten by a skin stealer, there's a lot. But possibly the biggest mistake you could ever make is coming to the level that I'm going to be explaining in today's video. Level 731 is the name, and it is one of the most mysterious and also deadly levels that I've ever covered on this channel. Let's just go ahead and get into the explanation. Viewer discretion is advised, it's gonna get wild. Let's get into it, shall we? Level 731 of the Backrooms is a very mysterious and very unknown level in the lore. I actually found it the other day when I was scrolling down the Backrooms Sandbox Discord server, and it caught my eye when I read through it, and I really enjoy it, so I want to throw into a video here for you guys. The level has been classified as a Class 3 due to its general unsafe environment, although it does say it's safe and secure, but it's also infested with a creature. So how does that make sense? How can it be Class 3, safe and secure, but also an entity infestation? I don't know. When the level was discovered, a total of 48 unidentifiable human bodies were found inside of the forest of this level. The individual bodies have evidence on some of them, showing some interesting methods of how they lost their lives. Multiple different cadavers show signs of strangulation, marked by cord marks or wire marks on their necks. They were also found in disturbing positions, like somebody had positioned them there to appear as if they were alive. These 48 corpses were all found in different levels of decomposition, but all of them were pretty much decayed into bones and ash. And in this level here, they were found scattered throughout the forest that comprises its main part. Level 731 as a whole looks to be a forested expanse that measures around 20 square miles, which isn't that big, and the actual shape of the forest is unknown. At the very center of the forested expanse, though, lies a ruined old house building thing. The building itself is no larger than an average American house, but outside of that house, the forest circles around it in a strange way. A light breeze flows through the leaves here, causing it to rustle and the branches to sway, and the level is really never quiet. The wind that whistles through the forest tends to make people feel uneasy, as if the 48 bodies that are around the forest didn't already do that. The trees are very dense here, and the undergrowth, the floor area, is also overgrown, almost to the point where you really can't even see very far in front of you. This can lead to extreme feelings of claustrophobia and kind of feeling trapped when you're walking through the trees in the forest here. In a weird way, the forest feels static or still. Even though there's wind that's blowing around, like I just said, it ends up feeling fake, almost like there's a giant fan somewhere making fake wind noise and fake bird sounds. And on that same note, there's no animals, there's no birds, no crickets or anything. Yet when you're not paying attention, it seems like there is. It seems like there's wind and animals and stuff, but when you really start to break down your surroundings, nothing's there. It's coming from speakers or something. It's not real. Another interesting quirk of this forest is that clocks of any kind do not work here. Whether it's analog or digital or your phone, nothing works. After you notice the bodies that are around the trees and stuff, you'll likely start to notice a horrible, thick smell coming from out of the house in the middle of the level. The source of the smell is unknown because once you get inside the house, you can't see it, but it's been described as a sulfur, rusty, rotten smell just emanating from this abandoned house. The structure itself is long since abandoned and it's decaying in many spots. There's several holes in its walls, several windows that got broken down, several pieces of it are just collapsing, and the floorboards inside are the same. Debris covers much of the interior, and because of this, it's actually pretty hard to walk around some of the areas. But the hallways inside of this house actually are very extensive and confusing, making it easy to get lost. In fact, they're non-Euclidean in their geometry, which kind of allows it to seem like it's way bigger than it is. On the outside, the place looks like a regular sized house, but when you get inside, it seems massive, expansive, and interlooping, kind of like level 0. Because in level 0, you could be in one hallway just walking forever, and then you turn around and you're back where you started. The same thing happens here. The laws of physics are completely ignored. The house is labyrinthine in nature, creature, and it's just very confusing to try to explore because first of all, it's dark, second of all, it's decaying beneath your feet, and third, the laws of physics don't work. If you walk up, you could go down. If you walk sideways, you could be upside down. Nothing makes sense. You could walk in circles forever by accident. It's almost as if the level is trying to waste your time and get you trapped in an infinite cycle of being confused, because that's what it wants. The more you get in this house and walk through these hallways, the deeper you'll delve into the world of nonsensical reality, and this means the more likely you are to run into the instance of creatures that infest the halls. Notice how I said there was no entities out in the woods, but the level was described as having an entity infestation. That's because they all live in here. The creatures are known as Lurlons, Lerlons, and they are reported to be, quote, disturbing oddities, end quote, by wanderers who have made it through the labyrinthine hallways of the house. They're said to be very disturbing. Lurlons are humanoid-like objects that have the heads that are the shape of bunny or rabbit ears. Their bodies are not flesh and blood like a regular creature's would be. Instead, they're made out of some kind of hard clay or stone, and the first time you see one, you're probably going to think it's a statue. The size of the creatures also varies, but usually they just are the average size of an adult male or taller, around 6 feet tall. Lurlon are curious, but they're also disturbing. They watch you from deep inside of the shadows of these hallways, and they hide behind pieces of rubble and doors and other furniture pieces, and they usually stay really far, like 20 feet away from you without approaching, until they want to eat you. If they know they've been seen by a person, they'll stop moving and they'll kind of go into this frozen state, which makes you think, again, like I said, that they're a statue. This frozen state is the only chance you'll have of killing one of these entities before they kill you. If one of the creatures sneaks up on you and gets a hold of you while you're in these dark, dilapidated hallways, you're cooked. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read from the page what happens if you do get caught by one of these little things. Viewer discretion is advised right now. Quote, it may not be an obvious attack, but if a Lurlon is able to properly get a hold of a wanderer, any chance of escape is slim. A second set of stone hands will sprout from its torso and grapple onto the wanderer, preventing them from being able to flee. Once ensnared, breaking free becomes increasingly difficult as the grip of the stone hands tightens relentlessly. As the wanderer struggles in its grasp, the Lurlon's ordinary set of hands will run across them in an exploratory manner. They will let a hand run across the wanderer's torso, tugging at their clothes with inhuman strength, almost ripping them off, while another hand pulls at their face, treating skin, teeth, and eyes as one. As the wanderer writhes in agony, the Lurlon's touch becomes increasingly invasive, digging beneath skin and letting their fingers run through one's innards as a sense of curiosity. The human will act as their plaything and be crumpled under their hands, end quote. YouTube better not demonetize me for saying that, or I'm going to send the platform to the Backrooms. But as you can see, it is very disturbing what happens if these creatures get hold of you. They'll grab you and kind of just reach inside of you and tear you apart from inside. Anyways, if you somehow make it out of an attack by a Lurlon, it's likely that more instances of the Lurlons will appear and join in just to tear you apart, ripping chunks off your body one piece at a time. Legs, arms, fingers, toes, noses, eyes, ears, they're gonna rip it all off. It is unknown what type of creature that these entities are, but they do have this insatiable desire to consume people. That's all we know about them, and what we also know is that they only reside inside of the house's walls and hallways inside of this level. So they're only in level 731, which is good because you wouldn't want to run into any of these things in any other level. It's assumed that the 48 individuals that were found on the outside of this house in the forest were victims of the Lurlon attacks as well, but that can't be confirmed or approved as of right now, but it makes sense. There's more lore and more unknown stuff about this level. I'll leave the link to it in the description below if you want to read all of that, but what I just described to you is pretty much all you need to know. It's a weird forest with fog and strange trees. The middle of the forest has an abandoned house with these creatures that want to rip you apart inside, and the entire thing feels fake, like a movie set, and there's no real sound, but you can hear sound. Does that make sense? No? Good. There are no listed entrances to the level, which is probably good, you don't want to come here, and the only way to exit is seemingly by no-clipping through the border of the forest here, but you have to get past the 48 bodies and the strange trees to do that. This level is very unique in the lore, and I've never really read anything like it, especially the type of entity that lives here. It's very strange, kind of has this weird eldritch aesthetic, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. And now you know that coming to this level might be the deadliest mistake you could ever make in the Backrooms. Thank you for watching to the end of the the video. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you leave a comment. Tell me what other levels I should go over, what other series I should start, all that stuff. I'll add to the list if it's cool. Thank you for all your support. I love you all. If you have any more suggestions and stuff, like I said, leave a comment. Also, check out my Twitter, my Instagram, my other YouTube channels, Broogli, Choogli, and Spoogli. Those are my 3 channels if you want more of me for some reason. But with all that said, this outro is getting too long. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.